The faint chime of a palace clock can be strangely deceptive. From the outside, its elegant tick-tock suggests life behind those gilded gates unfolds in slow, stately increments, unhurried, predictable, almost immune to the everyday jolts that rattle ordinary households. But if this past week proved anything, it's that Windsor time is anything but steady. Imagine the scene: Thursday morning, the 20th of June. An easy breeze lifts freshly cut lawns at Kensington and Clarence House, and the press office schedules seem blissfully routine. On Instagram, yes, even the world's oldest monarchy now speaks fluent algorithm. The royal family's official feed posts a sunlit portrait of Bridget, Duchess of Gloucester, smiling softly in powder blue. The caption is minimalist, elegant, unmistakably on brand. Happy birthday to the Duchess of Gloucester. It feels wonderfully simple. A brief digital wave of gratitude to a 79-year-old workhorse of the crown. No drama, no coded subtext, just a reminder that royal service comes in many shapes, some quieter than others. Yet within hours of that placid birthday greeting, palace corridors reportedly buzzed like a beehive upended. A very different piece of royal news, smaller in print, far louder in implication, was ricocheting from drawing room to press gallery. The Princess of Wales, Catherine, had withdrawn from Royal Ascot. On its own, a diary adjustment shouldn't raise more than an eyebrow. Ascot is glamorous but optional, not coronation-level mandatory. But context is king, or, in this case, queen-in-waiting. Katherine's presence at Trooping the Colour, just days earlier, had sent a jolt of hope through onlookers, who've tracked her long climb back from a brutal chemotherapy schedule. Her luminous balcony appearance felt like a promise that her remission, announced with cautious optimism earlier this year, was holding firm. So when word spread that she would skip Ascot at the 11th hour, hearts skipped alongside her. The public expression was gentle disappointment. Behind the scenes, according to the Daily Beast, emotions were closer to outright panic. One aide supposedly used the words bewildered and worried. Rumors sprouted in the palace's lee like mushrooms after a rain shower. Had Catherine suffered a setback? Was she en route to a doctor? God forbid, had she been rushed back to hospital? Here was the paradox in sharp relief. A monarchy proud of its stoic facade suddenly subject to the same manic speculation that plagues Hollywood premieres. On the same morning Charles chose to spotlight his quietly steadfast cousin Bridget, his household was, if reports are to be believed, coping with a spike of raw, unfiltered fear. A tale of two signals. Let's pull these threads together. Why does a single Instagram birthday wish matter? Because it demonstrates how the royal machine never stops balancing two contradictory imperatives: continuity and responsiveness. Charles's team wanted to highlight a long-serving duchess, without letting the feed sink into a 24/7 health watch of the Princess of Wales. The message: life carries on, service continues, don't forget the quieter stalwarts. But the health story simply wouldn't stay muted. Katherine's withdrawal lit up newsrooms precisely because her recovery journey is now public property, not by her choice, but by virtue of that courageous March 2024 video where she spoke plainly of abdominal surgery and the diagnosis that followed. In revealing the most private ordeal imaginable, she bought herself public sympathy, and with it, relentless public vigilance. Every engagement accepted feels like progress. Every engagement missed feels like a siren. The anatomy of a panic. According to that Daily Beast source, aides heard about Katherine's decision and went into overdrive. Why? Partly because Royal Ascot is more than hats and champagne towers. It's a 5-day endurance test of small talk stamina, handshake marathons, and sun-blasted highways of photo ops. For a patient fresh from chemo, it's a gauntlet. Catherine had done Trooping and Garter Day back-to-back. Adding Ascot would push her body into overtime. Internally, crisis cascades quickly. Communications teams scramble to update press sheets, and cancel pre-drafted social posts that included Katherine's planned arrival. Equerries must reorder carriage allocations, no small feat, when each seat signals precedence. Medical liaisons check whether her absence is purely precautionary or demands further assessment. Senior aides worry that the optics, Katherine appearing, then vanishing, could trigger a frenzy. Spoiler, it did. Now add a final twist. Apparently some staff feared she had already been rushed to hospital. Even if that rumor lasted only minutes, it underscores how Katherine's well-being looms over palace morale. She is more than a working royal. She's the monarchy's single most bankable asset, with the under 50 demographic. In the digital age, her rallying image, modern yet measured, anchors the crown's relevance. The king's Instagram strategy. So back to that birthday post. Charles' comms advisors know any mention of Katherine triggers clickstorms. In contrast, Burgett of Gloucester is pressed Teflon, loyal, discreet, unlikely to spawn conspiracy TikToks. Highlighting her on a day swirling with Katherine anxiety was shrewd. It served three purposes. Diversionary calm. Remind audiences the institution is larger than one superstar. Duty spotlight. Show older allies who've served without headline credit still matter. Tone management. The soft, celebratory note undercuts the palace in meltdown narrative. If that sounds manipulative, consider the alternative, letting speculation swamp the feed, forcing Charles to issue clarifications he isn't ready to give. The monarchy's digital rule of thumb is as old as the Tudors: when nerves rise, lower the temperature, not the drawbridge. The public math of concern. Still, the human element refuses to be algorithm managed. From Manchester to Melbourne, Katherine's fans refreshed news sites looking for proof she was okay. Google searches for Princess Kate health update briefly surpassed those for Euro 2025 fixtures. In comment threads, empathy drowns cynicism, take as long as you need, wrote one user. We'd rather miss you than risk you. In that sense, the reported panic inside the palace mirrored public sentiment. Behind uniforms and centuries of protocol, they worried like any family would. Think about the timeline. Katherine announces remission, world exhales, she returns for 2 high-octane events, world cheers, she withdraws from a third world, stomach drops. It's a simple emotional algorithm: hope, relief, vigilance, alarm. What we know and what we don't. Confirmed facts. She remains in remission. Doctors advised a managed comeback. She was disappointed to miss Ascot. Kensington Palace hasn't commented on claims of aides panicking or hospital trips. Open questions. Was the withdrawal scheduled weeks out, or truly last minute? Did any concerning symptom prompt her decision, or was it pure caution? How often will she appear for the rest of the summer? Wimbledon looms. So does a planned early childhood summit in the autumn. The wider chessboard. Remember, Katherine's health saga isn't the only high-stakes storyline playing out. At the same trooping ceremony, Republic protesters waved "Not My King" placards within camera range. Lip readers claimed Camilla and Charles shared exasperation over another issue, likely involving Prince Harry. Prince Andrew's housing drama reportedly prompted Charles to launch a quiet audit of his brother's finances. The family's plate is crowded, and Katherine's absence, however necessary, rips away a layer of public goodwill at precisely the moment the crown could use her stabilizing presence. Where does that leave us? Ironically, the same day Katherine sparked whispers, Charles posted a birthday card to a duchess whose name trends maybe once a decade. One act draws headlines for absence, the other for presence. Together, they illustrate the monarchy's eternal paradox: life behind palace walls is at once overexposed and perpetually concealed. For royal watchers, the lesson is simple: read every post, every omission, every shuffled seating plan as part of a living tapestry. Charles's Instagram shout-out is not just a birthday nod, it's a calibration. Katherine'S cautious withdrawal is not just missed glamour, it's a reality check about post-cancer fatigue. A final word to the audience. So, what do you make of this two-tone week? Does the King's steady acknowledgement of quieter royals reassure you that the machine keeps humming? Or do reports of behind-the-scenes panic suggest a palace too dependent on one star figure? And how much transparency should we realistically expect when a future queen's health is at stake? Scroll down, share your thoughts and, if you'd like, drop a birthday wish for Duchess Birgit, whose decades of no-drama service remind us that royal duty often shines brightest when the spotlight looks elsewhere. Until our next deep dive, keep the notifications on, keep the dialogue respectful, and remember, in Windsor time, the most consequential moments rarely arrive with trumpets. Sometimes they land as quietly as a single Instagram post in a Thursday morning feed.